Good morning, and welcome to Cal State LA's 2024 University Convocation. Please welcome to the stage the Chair of the Academic Senate, Dr. Andrei Avramchuk. Dr. Avramchuk will introduce the university's new faculty.
Before we begin our event, we would like to pay tribute to the enduring relationship that exists between indigenous people and their traditional lands. With great respect, Cal State LA acknowledges the Tongva people as the traditional caretakers of Tongawar, the Tongva world, including San Gabriel and Pomona valleys, Los Angeles Basin, South Channel Islands, and portions of Orange, San Bernardino, and Riverside counties. Cal State LA is located within these lands. As an institution located on unceded Tongva land, we pay our respects to the ancestors, elders, and their relatives' relations, past, present, and emerging. Now, from the serious to the sublime, hello, design thinkers, and welcome to the academic year 2024-2025. I am Ryan Reynolds, and I will be performing the opening number of the Deadpool and Wolverine. So, do I have your attention now? Good. Just kidding. I'm still only Andrei Avramchuk, Chair of your Academic Senate. And despite my last year's call for all of us to be adventurous design thinkers, I haven't changed so drastically as to reinvent myself as a Marvel character. And I don't expect that you have either. Change is hard. And the most enduring change is deliberate, thoughtful, and incremental. We had a lot of organizational change in the past year. We experienced local and global upheavals, from the wars to the protest encampments to dealing with asbestos in our buildings and budget cuts to our programs. We had a whiplash of a presidential campaign on a national level, and the list goes on. All that affects each of us in varied degrees, but none of us are immune or unaffected. But yes, you heard me right. We're all design thinkers in this campus community. And let me remind you why. Tim Brown leads a global design company called IDEA, that deals with human-centered innovation in all facets of life, and believes that a better future is for all of us to design together. In a 2008 article, he described 5 key characteristics of a design thinker: how to think as a designer, what does it take to design a better tomorrow for all of us. If you recall, the 5 characteristics of a design thinker's personality are empathy, optimism, integrative thinking, experimentalism, and collaboration. And my goal as your Senate Chair this year will be to have all our shared governance partners embrace these characteristics. We must collaborate so that all of us feel that we're seen, we're heard, we're included, and we're not taken for granted. And that requires a lot of us to be design thinkers. From students to staff to faculty and administrators, we all need each other's support and care. We all need to feel that we belong. As one of the most influential educators of all time, Paulo Freire once wrote, "There is no such thing as neutral education. Education either functions as an instrument to bring about conformity or freedom." Yes. And to echo Vice President Kamala Harris, I choose freedom. And on this momentous day, August 19th, I also choose to be a joyful warrior. Enough with the conformity and mediocrity. Let's design our own dreams, aspirations, and careers. As we teach our students to do, let's walk the talk. Let's bring innovation and fresh thinking to whatever doesn't work, but leave alone and strengthen and reaffirm what does work on our campus. We collectively have been craving for a change to the status quo. And there we have it, the first Madam President of Cal State LA, Berenice Johnson-Eanes. Isn't she a breath of fresh air? I was thrilled when she announced shared governance as one of our first principles for this campus. Giving her a chance and space to take root and lead us forward will take patience, collegiality, and mutual trust and support. We already see the signs of positive change in presidential availability and collaboration, and we look forward to much more in the year ahead. Rome wasn't built in one day, and Cal State LA will take years to transform. But we also realize that honeymoons don't last, and President Ians would be the first to remind you of that. Will there be mistakes and setbacks? Of course. Will there be decisions we disagree with? You bet. But this is the essence of experimentalism as a characteristic of a design thinker. They design, implement, fail, fix flaws, and do it again, until they settle on something that really works for most. And it's only possible when we expect setbacks as part of honest work and disallow blame games. Do you know who don't make mistakes? Those who don't do anything. And that's not the campus we want, right? We want to transform apathy into action, disengagement into trustworthy collaboration, cynicism into curiosity, and all of this requires skillful leadership and compassionate design thinkers in every corner of our community. So let's cultivate such leaders. Those who think how to make someone else's life better, not just their own. And thankfully, we have lots of such dedicated design thinkers among us. And many of them work tirelessly on our system of shared governance. The leadership pipeline on this campus is very strong. From our amazing union leaders to all who dedicate their time to the grinder of committee work and student success, we see you. We see our shared governance faculty leaders become directors, deans, associate deans. We see the policies developed by the Senate committees and passed by the Senate approved at a higher rate, which is a great trend. 70% of Senate-approved policy changes were signed by the presidents in the last year, and most others were returned with tangible suggestions for a change. We do contribute to making our rules of engagement better on this campus. And many of you are in the driver's seat, so let me acknowledge some. Would everyone who served on any committee or task force in department, school, or college please stand and be recognized? Any committee service, please keep standing, keep standing. Would anyone who is an active staff or faculty or union member, student union member, please stand and be recognized as well. Any union member, if you pay the dues, you're active. Please keep standing. Yay. Would all the past and current senators, executive committee members, Senate office staff, IT staff supporting us, all administrators who serve on all of our committees, please stand and be recognized. And yes, the deans, you're also senators, so please don't hesitate to stand and be recognized. Now, that's the power of shared governance. Just imagine what can we do together. Let's give everyone, again, a big round of applause. I am especially indebted to our incredible Senate office staff, Rhonda Rockmore and Vanessa Shi. Our departing executive committee members, Mohammed Abed, Beth Baker, Patrick Crew, Chris Bisdesny. Our wonderful Vice Chair of the Senate, Kerry Flint, and Secretary of the Senate, Devika Hazra. We could not have done anything this past year without you. And I'm very excited about what we'll do this year with the incoming Vice Chair, Jessica DeShazo, and Secretary of the Senate, Claire Larkins. And everybody, please visit us in the Senate and participate as much as you can. We're an open forum, like all our committees on this campus. And now, I would like to welcome into our community a great cohort of design thinkers, our newest faculty. And it's even more touching than the Deadpool's opening scene. Enjoy.
We welcome the new faculty to Cal State LA. The mission of Cal State LA is possible because of the collaborative work of our faculty. It is their dedication and contribution to knowledge and social impact that fosters our diverse and vibrant campus community. This fall, we welcome the new faculty. We are thrilled to meet you. And we look forward to getting to know you and sharing experiences. Most importantly, we are honored to have you. We thank you for choosing Cal State LA as your home.
And now, I would like all of our new faculty to stand up, please, and be recognized. Please be seated. As our new faculty begin their careers, we hope to have them around for many years to come, until retirement. And at the retirement time, their engagement with us does not have to change. Retired faculty and academic administrators who are granted emeritus status are eligible to join the Emeriti Association. The Cal State LA Emeriti Association was established back in 1978. To secure, enhance, and maintain the status, rights, and privileges of the Emeriti faculty of Cal State LA, to serve students and the educational community at the university, college, school, division, and department levels, to encourage members who wish to carry on scholarly endeavors, contributing to the educational community of the university, and otherwise contribute to the university's mission. In the 2023-2024 academic year, the emeritus status was granted to 11 faculty members and 1 president. Please, if you are in the audience, stand if you are able and be recognized. Scott Breivold, William Covino, Adelaide Doyle Nichols, Darlene Finacchiaro, June Liu, William London, Milan Mincic, Sujan Sal, Lily Tabrisi, June Zing, and Ping Yao. Let's give them a well-deserved round of applause. So let's move ahead to the next year with empathy, integrative thinking, optimism, experimentalism, and collaboration. We'll need all this to meet the challenges and opportunities ahead of us. And as joyful warriors, we will. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage the chair of the Outstanding Professor Award Committee, Dr. Shomuk Banerjee. Dr. Banerjee will present the Outstanding Professor, Outstanding Lecturer, and President's Distinguished Professor Awards.
Good morning, everybody. It is a privilege to be here today to acknowledge and celebrate the exceptional contributions of 6 colleagues who have gone above and beyond in their dedication to our university community. Allow me to provide some background on these prestigious awards. The Outstanding Professor Awards were established by the Academic Senate in 1963. There are 3 distinct categories under these awards: the Outstanding Professor, the Outstanding Lecturer, and the President's Distinguished Professor Awards. Recipients of these honors are selected by a faculty committee with assistance from the Alumni Association and the associated students. These awards recognize faculty members for their excellence in teaching, significant achievement in scholarly inquiry or creativity, professional activities, and service to the campus and community. The 6 recipients of the 2024 awards exemplify these ideals. The selection committee had to make difficult choices to select the award recipients for this year, as they spent many hours reviewing nomination letters, personnel files, course materials, and scholarly and creative work for each candidate, to make sure that we make a fair choice. The selection committee for this year consisted of Muhammad Awad from the Department of Management, Hisagi Miwako from the Department of Communication Disorders, Muhammad Podu Humayun from the Department of Computer Science, Molly Talcott from the Sociology Department, Maria Ubago from Alumni Relations, Yahir Flores, the Associate Student President, and me, Shomuk Banerjee from the Department of Marketing. Please give a round of applause to the members of the committee in recognition of their hard work. Also, we'd like to extend the appreciation for the continuous support from the Senate Chair, Andrei Avramchuk, and timely coordination and prompt feedback to our questions received from Vanessa Shi from the Academic Senate Office. Continuing the tradition started by the 2014 OPA committee, Marcel Georgis, Justin Change, and Marla Uyova with the Department of Television, Film, and Media Studies have created short documentaries on each of the awardees. Please give them a round of applause and for Marcel, Justin, and Marla. Now I invite President Bernicia Johnson-Eanes and Interim Provost Amy Bipas and Andrei Avramchuk, the Chair of the Academic Senate, to join me in presenting these awards. Without further ado, we start with our lecturer awards. This year's recipient is Sherry Kornblum from the Department of Mathematics.
Sherry Kornblum, instructor for the Math Department and Engineering Department. I grew up actually almost downtown LA, and I lived in a community where you could walk out at any time. There's Langer's Delicatessen. We live near Westlake Park, and I went to Virgil Junior High and Belmont Junior High. I just enjoyed math in high school. It was a subject that came a little bit easier to me. When I graduated from college, I couldn't find a job. But then the principal of my high school heard I was looking for a job, and he said, he called me, he said, "Do you want to work here?" I said, "Okay," and that was the whole interview. I remember one of the worst students in the class stayed after class one day and said, "You're just a rookie. Make it through this year, and you'll be fine next year." And one of the students who was in charge of a gang, he gave me a hard time, and then he became very close to me. And he said that I didn't only influence him; his kids went to UCLA and Northridge. Now his grandkids, are doing well. So he said I changed 3 generations of lives. And when he calls me, I cry all the time. There was this job that presented itself at Cal State LA, where you become a liaison between the high schools and the college. So I got the job here. And then they said I'm the first person that ever did anything in this position that they hired me for. So they said, "We're going to keep you for another year." And while I was here, I decided to take classes and start my master's. Then I went to USC and got my PhD in math ed. Well, I teach mathematics, predominantly teach mathematics to engineering students who go out there and develop and design, your computers, your games that you use now, and that's the kind of math that I work on. So I just enjoy motivating students and turning on the light bulb in their mind and seeing them progress, see their growth, and be successful in their jobs. Engineering department hired me to design and implement cooperative learning excellent workshops in mathematics that mirror the math class that they're taking in the math department. We started a program in engineering, it's called STEP now, and I think it's about 14 years. We got students through algebra and trig, and they were calculus ready. And in fact, the math department, after our second year, they did a study following them in the subsequent math classes, and they did well. We turned the physics and chemistry around from maybe physics passing 20% to like 80%, 90%. And so we're very successful. I think part of it is just that community building, and another little part is that, we encourage them. I have a husband who's been very supportive in my career. I have 2 wonderful children who've been very supportive also. I have 2 wonderful grandchildren. I just want to thank my family for being so supportive. And my colleagues, the same thing. If I need something for the students, they always come through to help the students out. I feel inspired by my students. A lot of them come back, and they are always bringing me a box of candy or something, When I got the award, I couldn't believe it. Because I didn't do it to be recognized, but now that I am, it's very nice.
Sorry. Please welcome Sherry Kornblum to the stage. That was awkward. Next, we move to our 4 Outstanding Professor Awards. Our first Outstanding Professor is Cheryl Kamai Hanan from the Division of Special Education and Counseling.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Kameh-Hannon. I'm a professor in the Division of Special Education and Counseling in the College of Education. I started working at Cal State LA in 2006. It was a little bit of a homecoming. My mom actually was a graduate of Cal State LA back in the 60s. So after I got married, I went to the University of Arizona. My husband was my biggest cheerleader and supported me along the way through the doctoral program. About midway through the program, however, this position opened up, and it was the only position that I wanted in the entire country. So midway through the program, I interviewed here at Cal State LA, and I got hired. My primary role here is to prepare teachers of students with visual impairment. It's been a great role. I've spent many years working with teachers who are going to be the future leaders of our children. And that is such an important role for them to serve. And so I feel like my job here is to prepare the best teachers that we can have, so we can also have the best schools and education system. The program in visual impairment and blindness serves the entire state of California. Mainly, however, we focus on the Southern California region. So the students from Cal State LA's program are from all over the place, including Riverside, San Bernardino, San Diego. We primarily teach distance classes online. And it's a great way for our teachers to be able to interact with other teachers on platforms like Zoom. But we also bring them here on campus to have some hands-on activities where they can engage with each other. Probably those are my favorite classes, because I get to spend all day with the teachers in a workshop type environment. We have amazing partnerships. Beyond Blindness is another one of our wonderful partnerships where we're able to meet on campus at Beyond Blindness. And again, bringing in those families and the children for our student teachers to interact and engage with the families and have a true learning experience that is hands-on. One of the highlights of my career actually happened during the pandemic. It was a panic for the education system, mostly for children who are visually impaired. That's where my heart lied, and that's where I really felt a calling that I needed to serve the students who were visually impaired. I was able to bring in Perkins School for the Blind, Texas School for the Blind, and American Printing House for the Blind. And together we were able to pull together within a week's time an entire roster of over 100 teachers and a playlist that we started to create of videos. And we called it the Excel Academy. We wanted it to be consistent. We wanted it to be a routine. We filmed a series that lasted all the way till mid-June, and we were there every single day serving our families and our students. In the end, by the end of that 3-month period, we were in 19 different countries, serving thousands of children and families around the world. And it was probably one of the proudest things that I've ever done to truly impact the community and the students that we serve. Since then, the Excel Academy has become a model for how do you teach students in a virtual environment who are visually impaired. And our teachers here at Cal State LA have been able to benefit from that model because they have continued to learn to teach online through online methods, but also they have this archive of videos of each other teaching, as well as teachers across the country that they can use as models to see how other teachers are teaching virtually with their students who are visually impaired. And that program is still continuing today. I'm so happy that we were able to be a part of it here through our Cal State LA Foundation and Roots. Receiving the Outstanding Professor Award is not about me. This award is for the students. It's because of the students that I'm here. It's because of the students that makes this program great. I feel like I'm just here as the person who makes things run, and it runs well, but really the honor goes to those students because they shine and they do amazing things. They are really, truly the outstanding teachers behind this award. I started my career here, I'm going to end my career here, and I love being at Cal State LA.
Please welcome Cheryl Kameh-Hannon to the stage. Our second outstanding professor is Alejandra E. Marchevsky from the Department of Women's, Gender and Sexuality Studies.
My name is Alejandra Marchevsky. I'm a professor in the Department of Women's, Gender and Sexuality Studies, and I'm currently serving as the department chair. I was born in Argentina, and my parents brought me to the United States, my sister and I, to the United States when I was 3 years old. So I very much grew up in a kind of bicultural, bilingual household. My mother actually dropped out of college. She was a young mom, and so she went back to college when I was 13 years old. And I remember doing my homework with her as she was doing her homework. So that left a really big impression on me. And it also kind of gravitated me towards universities like Cal State LA that really give people a second chance. I came to Cal State LA at a time where I was really questioning my commitment to academia. It felt very elitist and it felt very removed from the needs of marginalized communities. And so the opportunity to teach and build a career at a university that was really centered in working class communities of color, where the kind of separation between the political activism that I did in the world and the scholarship that I did in the world could sort of be married and interwoven together through my teaching and research here. That was really attractive, and in many ways it sort of saved me as an academic. I'm particularly interested in the ways that gendered racism kind of structures state violence. In many ways, those are grounded in my own experiences as an immigrant woman from Latin America and the United States. But in lots of ways, they're also grounded in the privilege that I experienced, right? As a white Latina, as a Latina who didn't experience structural racism, and feeling a real sense of responsibility then to kind of devote my life's work to challenging those structures. I would have to say that what really keeps me here and makes me feel such a deep sense of purpose and satisfaction are the students. The students are amazing, so committed and passionate to learning, to making connections between their communities and the work that they do in the university, to transforming society, to create a better world, not just for their communities and their families, but for everyone. And that is always something that gives me energy and a sense of purpose. Just being surrounded by that kind of love is such a gift. This is to say that in some ways the OPA award feels like an achievement that goes to my immigrant parents, right? And all the ways that they sacrifice to raise my sister and me in a country that was totally foreign to them. 25 years at Cal State LA, I have done a lot of institution building at this place. I can sort of walk through so many of the programs and centers that exist today and think about the collaborative role with other colleagues and students in building them. But I think of it in some ways as kind of an archive for me, right? Really reflecting on all of the projects and achievements and struggles that we've had here, and them sort of being recognized in ways that hasn't quite happened before, this award.
Please welcome to stage Alejandra E. Marchevsky. Our third outstanding professor is Gustavo Menezes from the Department of Civil Engineering.
So my name is Gustavo Menezes, and I'm in the Department of Civil Engineering. I've been at Cal State LA for 15 years, and I've been the department chair for the past 2 years. I grew up in Belo Horizonte, Minas Gerais do Brasil, which is a small town. My dad is an electrical engineer. My mom is a school teacher. And I have two sisters. I met my wife in high school, and we've been together for 30 years now. After my K-12, I was divided between doing computer science or civil engineering at Universidade Federal de Minas Gerais. My dad told me that computer science will never be a thing. So I decided to go into civil engineering. I worked with a professor in the soil mechanics lab, working in the lab and teaching students and helping them. I think that it started building in me this desire to become a teacher and to become a professor. And at that point in time, my undergraduate advisor had moved to Atlanta in Georgia, and she went to Spelman College. She invited me to do a postdoctoral researcher working in environmental engineering, being in the center of civil rights movement in the US. Started really thinking about this whole idea of social justice and using education to help people grow and help people develop. Moving from Spelman to Cal State LA, I more and more moved into engineering education, which became really my passion. I'm really passionate about helping students. But when I came to Cal State LA, to be honest, I didn't understand Cal State LA very well. I was not planning to go into academia. Teach my first class, was horrifying. Remembering about that, how horrible my first class was. But I always had this notion that I was there to help students. So my relationship with the students was always great. And I think when we start as a teachers, as a professor, we think that we know what students should do and what they should be like. But over the years, I changed my mindset that I'm not here to define what students they should be, but more create a space so they can grow and develop into what they want to be. I think my experience of being a father has changed me a lot. Now I have 3 boys, and seeing how different they are and how different they learn and how they are motivated by different things has also impacted the way I see education. And I think the most value to me is being nominated by these people that I looked up to for many years, and of course to be selected by the committee. Kind of brings everything together from and working at Spelman and learning about the civil rights movement in the US. Cal State LA really amazed me, the quality of the work and how hard people work to support students and to support the research and to write proposals and to get funding and to do what people do here. All these things together have shaped who I am, and I really appreciate having those chances. I really love being a professor. I really love working with students. I really love changing people's life. But if I was not a professor, I was going to be a stand-up comedian, I think. Yeah. It's interesting because you are in a very serious environment. I mean, I don't even imagine that I would say things that I would say, because I can't believe you're saying these things. We are in a department meeting. I mean, the fact that Cal State LA is #1 in social mobility in the US gives me a lot of motivation to come to work, and it's exciting.
Please welcome Gustavo Menezes to the stage. Our 4th outstanding professor is Gabriela Maria Simon Cereijido from the Department of Communication Disorders.
I'm Gabriela Simon Cereijido. I'm a professor at the Department of Communication Disorders at Cal State LA. I'm also a bilingual speech-language pathologist. I was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I grew up during a tumultuous time in Argentina, during several dictatorships. And one thing I did that I didn't know was going to help in the future was to learn languages, and also I was into dance. Because of dancing, and I was interested in modern dance, I really wanted to come to the United States. So in my early 20s, I moved to New York City to study modern dance. I studied with different choreographers, performed with different people. I met my current husband, who was also an Argentine. He was an exile from the dictatorship. By that time, democracy came back to Argentina, so we decided to go back to Argentina. It was a little bit rough, and we had an opportunity to go back to New York City. And after some years, I wanted to pursue a university program. I realized that I was really interested in neurobiology, neuroscience. Also, by that time, I was a mother of a little girl. I was really interested in observing her, how she developed both Spanish, which is our native language, and English. I realized that there was another profession in which I could apply my knowledge of languages and also my interest in neuroscience, and that was speech-language pathology. So I worked for a few years in bilingual preschools, special education preschools. I worked in early intervention. After September 11th, the city was suffering, and also my children were changing school, so I thought it was a good time to move. I applied to the doctoral program at San Diego State with UCSD, and we all moved here. I ran the bilingual lab in my department, and every year we have slightly different projects where we developed items for assessment tests, and we test them in the community. We moved to develop some projects to study the linguistic skills of bilingual college students. The results with our own students, really important, and use that information to tailor our educational programs. I am proud that I have started a conversation on the human right of communicating in whichever way we want. That means multilingualism, bilingualism is a human right. In the last years, there has been a wider conversation about that in my discipline. I'm really proud that I was able to write an essay when there was a call for essays on the human right of communication. I was contacted by people in my field from Spain and Latin America, and now we have an association, and we have promoted different conventions. I feel that this more international connection is a new thing that happened in my life, a new asset, and I hope to eventually find a way to also share that more directly with my students. To my colleagues, I want to tell them we are really important agents of change to our students. We need to feel proud about that. My image of at least our department is that we are the little engine that could. No one, and not even dictatorships or bad things that happen, can really kill our dreams.
Please welcome to stage Gabriela Maria Simon Cerejito. And finally, the President's Distinguished Professor Award. In order to be eligible for this award, faculty must have already received the Outstanding Professor Award in the past and distinguished themselves further since that time. This year, the President's Distinguished Professor is Nanda K. Ganesan from the Department of Information Systems.
I'm Nanda Ganesan, Professor of Information Systems. I'm also the Chair of the Department of Information Systems. I mostly teach computer networks and database design in the past, management information systems, and my work, computer-related work, is a lot to do with e-learning, and I also design websites. I was born in Sri Lanka, and I grew up in Sri Lanka, the northern part of Sri Lanka, known as Jaffna. I had a very, very interesting childhood. My father was an electrical engineer, and my mother was a principal of a high school. As a principal, she will be doing the scheduling, and I will be helping her in erasing and putting things. And that has become very useful now that I'm the department chair. Believe me, I do a lot of scheduling. It is in me, and I thank my mother for that. I was also interested in creating things. So when I was young, when I was, I suppose, about 10, 11 years old, I created a radio transmitter, and used to fool my friends and my relatives by staying in another room and transmitting over this transmitter. And they will hear me over the radio. They thought I was broadcasting over the radio. I was mechanically minded. I would create various mechanical things, and eventually I went to the university to become a mechanical engineer. That was my first degree. After getting my first degree, I had this great opportunity to go to Iran. The primary purpose was to start an Institute of Technology. The institute that we just started as a small institute with very few people today is one of the leading universities, I believe, in Iran. It's called University of Semnan. I always wanted to do a PhD. So I went to England, did my master's degree, a master's degree in operations research at University of Lancaster. Then I applied to do a PhD and got into University of Birmingham in production engineering with a focus on computers. I went back home for a short while to work, and at the time Sri Lanka was going through a very, very tough time. There was a very nasty, very brutal civil war. The situation back home was getting worse, so I had to take my family out of Sri Lanka. I got a job in Singapore, a very good job in the National University of Singapore as a lecturer. So one day I was casually talking to one of the other faculty members in the National University of Singapore and said, I'm planning to move. He said, Nanda, if you're going somewhere, go to the best country in the world. He said, United States is the best country for you to go and settle and get your family. When I landed here, and I was getting into a bus one day and was putting some coins in there. And the bus driver said, you have to put the exact coins in here. You should know that. I'm just here for one day. Then I realized that he thought I was from here. So I say, the moment you walk out of the airport, you are a local. At that moment I said, I want to stay here. I'm very proud of having served as the department chair and building a brand new program in information systems. This fall, 2024, the Department of Information Systems will have a brand new program consisting of 3 options: cybersecurity, data analytics, cloud software development. California State University at Los Angeles gives you the freedom to innovate and be creative. Anytime you had a solid idea, I put that into practice, there was support from the university. For the students, I am impressed with your motivation. I am impressed with your drive. There is a reason why the California State University is on the top for upward mobility. It is not only because of us, it is because of you too. If you don't aspire, if you don't work hard, you cannot go to the top. Faculty members, you have been great. You have offered me support many times. Sometimes I think I could be a little bit strong in my decisions, but I think you appreciate what I do. This is the 3rd time I have been elected to chair the department, and I think you have some faith in me, and I'm very thankful to that. And I couldn't have done whatever I did in the department without the active participation and support of the faculty members. I have served on committees that evaluate outstanding professors. I have seen amazing people. Just the thought that I'm being kept at the same level, at least looked at the same level, makes me very, very happy. So I'm here for 40 years. People come and ask me when I'm going to retire. So I tell them this story. One day a student in my class came and told me, my father recommended me to take the class. Apparently his father was in my class. So I tell my friends when they ask me when I'm going to retire, I tell them, when one student comes and tells me, your grandfather recommended me to take this class, that's the time I think I should consider. But I'm not sure, I may retire anytime, but overall I must say that I have an amazing journey at Cal State LA.
Please welcome Nanda K. Ganesan to the stage. I have been truly honored to be a part of this selection committee. Alongside my dedicated colleagues, the accomplishments of our award recipients are a real source of pride for each and every one of us. As we step into the upcoming academic year, let's continue to be inspired by them as we ensure the growth and development of all our students. A quick reminder to you all, especially department chairs, please consider eliciting and encouraging nominations for the Outstanding Professor Awards now. The process is lengthy and preparing the documents to submit for review takes an extraordinary amount of time, which is precious time that most of our nominees don't have, given the already heavy loads they carry. And now let me express closing appreciation. Kudos to Marcel Guargis, Justin Chen, and Marla Uyoa with the Department of Television, Film, and Media Studies again, the creative minds behind these precious documentaries, which are a true labor of love and a lasting gift to our award recipients. Thank you, Marcel, Justin, and Marla. Please. Thanks also to Vanessa Shi of the Academic Senate Office for shepherding us through this process and answering the countless questions we asked her very promptly. Maria Uyoya and Angela Dalbariste and the ITS Multimedia Service team for your assistance in creating the documentaries. To Emilio Flores, our university photographer, for the headshot and inspiring posters that adorn our campus. And to Maria Magolski, the producer and showrunner of today's event. Thank you to the President's Office, the Provost's Office, and the University Advancement Office for their ongoing financial and moral support for this program. Please give a big hand to everybody. Next, I'd like to welcome the President of ASI, Yahir Flores, to the stage.
Good morning, buenos dias, Cal State LA students, faculty, staff, and personnel. My name is Yair Antonio Flores, and I have the privilege of serving as the student body president for Cal State LA for the 2024 to 2025 academic school year. Thank you. Thank you. This is my senior year of undergrad, double majoring in political science and Chicana Chicano Latina Latino studies. Thank you. It is an honor to stand here and provide remarks on behalf of over 20,000 students enrolled in the university. I thank you all for being here present in this space as we begin to welcome the new academic year. If you look around you, this room is filled with remarkable people, including yourself, who, in one way or another, play a critical role in our institution. From students who passionately dedicate themselves in pursuit of their degrees and a brighter future, to the faculty who devotedly teach, to the staff who provide support for our student resource centers, offices, and to personnel who are the ones that allow for our buildings, classrooms, and other facilities to operate every day for the campus community. You are all key stakeholders and contribute significantly to our student body. So on behalf of our student body, I would like to thank each and every one of you for your dedication, your passion, and your efforts to serve students. So big round of applause to you all. Now, those efforts often go unnoticed, but the impact is significant. I know that Cal State LA has many perceptions, ranging from being a commuter campus to being the go-to university for our high school students in the surrounding communities, and from being the accessible and cheapest option in the CSU. However, what is often too overlooked is the vast opportunities Cal State LA has to offer. For me, Cal State LA wasn't my first choice, it wasn't my second, or my third. Yet, as I began navigating my college experience here during my third year of undergrad, considering my first two were completely online, Zoom University, I finally got to see the true colors and spirits of our campus, from extracurricular opportunities and student organization and clubs, to academic support, career services, basic needs assistance, and so much more that allowed me to greater appreciate and take pride in attending Cal State LA and being a Golden Eagle. That said, the most pivotal moment during my time here has been my involvement in ASI, Associated Students Incorporated Student Government, where I found my passion and calling for servant leadership and higher education. With the immense support from Associate Executive Director Dina Flores, Administrative Coordinator Amanda Maldonado, and my two professors, Cynthia Alonso and Catherine Pantanero from the Department of Chicana, Chicano, Latina, Latino Studies, I had an environment filled with learning opportunities to grow professionally and as a student. I wouldn't be standing here today speaking in front of all you all if it wasn't for these folks and my spirit protectors and communities that I built for myself throughout my 4 years, who showed me what it means to be part of a community and belonging. And of course, I couldn't have done it without the love and support of my parents, Juan and Florita Flores, who join you all in the audience today. Thank you. Cal State LA allowed me to bring my lived experiences to support, to give me strength, and to ground me in all my efforts throughout my academic journey. But this is just my story. Thousands of students across our campus have a story. They have goals and will need your guidance, support, compassion, empathy, and validation to continue to give, to be able to succeed. So I leave you all with a call to action to continue to give your unconditional support, effort, and dedication to your role so that students are able to be given a sense of community and feel like they belong. And that would encourage them to become more engaged on campus, to grow as students and professionals, succeed academically, and accomplish the goals that they have along their way in reaching their academic milestone of earning a degree. This is what they deserve, and I am confident that one day at a time, we will collectively leave a mark where we can proudly say, Cal State LA is a transformative institution. I am excited to embark on this academic school year alongside each and every one of you and continue my commitment to the student body to uplift student voices and stories collectively and individually to be heard throughout all areas of Cal State LA. Thank you. Gracias.
Good morning, everyone. Staff, faculty, students, Let me start with something powerful, but let me also say that all the power has already been in the room and the stage. Can we give our amazing faculty that receive awards and all of the members of the community a round of applause? So, Luis earned a 2024 electrical engineering master's degree from Cal State LA, a first-generation student and first-generation American. And as he came up to me on the stage, he looked at me and he said, "From the hood to the hooded." I tell you, that was the shortest description of social mobility that I've heard lately. In his years at Cal State LA, Luis launched his career and is opening a company and is now serving as an advisor to the very department that taught him. He's even helping set up internships for others. That is what we do. That's what it means to be number one in social mobility. We are not waiting for opportunities, we are creating them. You are creating opportunity for our students, our alumni, and all the Golden Eagles. As you probably saw at commencement, I get a little teary. It is the best day of the year. This past May was no different. Nearly 7,000 students claimed their degrees last year. Some 5,700 walked and danced across the stage, and all helped by you. These are your success stories, and I want to thank you.
Why are you so shy today, Trisha? She did it! Come on, y'all, come on. Come on, everybody. Come on, we gotta take a picture. Oh, she did it, she did it, she did it.
Congratulations to all the graduates.
I love you so much. You did it.
By the authority vested in me by the state of California and by the trustees of the California State University, I hereby confirm upon you the baccalaureate degree for which you qualify, with all the rights, privileges, and honors pertaining thereto. Congratulations. Well, I'm going to get the reputation of being the crime president all the time. It's horrible, horrible. But what you all will grow to know about me is that they always write something for me to say, and I say very little of it. I say other things. And I wanted to share with you, the reason I'm crying this morning is because I want us to really think about what we have ahead of us this fall, and how serious our work is, and how overwhelming it could be if we didn't see the real opportunity in it. We could be worried about the budget, we could be worried about the retention rates, we could be worried about departmental chair elections, we could be worried, the list could go on and on. But at this point, the only thing we have is to be bold. I see the work that you've done this summer. For the campus, the facilities, the grounds, technology, resource centers, everybody's been busy. We had a remodeled, revitalized, brand new orientation. Thank you for that. I see you, I see you, I see you. I see you at the Center for Engagement Services and Public Good, and I celebrate the $6.9 million grant to continue College Corps and to place students in paid fellowships. I see the Guardian Scholars Program in your first year of independent department, doing bold new things. Thank you. Faculty, I see you. There is no university without faculty. I lift up the faculty leadership demonstrated at Cal State LA, receiving the Seal of Excellencia, showing that our commitment as a Hispanic serving institution goes beyond demographics and speaks to the meaningful commitments to equity, social justice, and inclusion. I lift up the Honors College partnership with Tuskegee University to develop the Character Leadership Program and to do wonderful work. I lift up the Prison Graduation Initiative and all that they are doing. I lift up the $430,000 gift from the LA Biospace Acceleration Program, which will strengthen the connection between the university and LA-based bioscience startups. I lift up the scholarship in arts and letters, business and economics, education, engineering, community science and technology, ethnic studies, health and human services, natural and social sciences. Along the day today, the provost and I will be visiting many of you, and I will continue to thank you for your hard work. And to our wonderful student ASI leader, let me congratulate him again. Yahir, thank you for your patience. Thank you for your phone calls and your text messages. Thank you for being the kind of partner in ASI who's going to give the president a heads up, even if she doesn't want to hear it all the time. I look forward to meeting with all the new student leaders. I celebrate the students who have been orientation leaders and those who have welcomed new and prospective students to our community. I celebrate all of our student teachers, tutors, and of course, our wonderful athletes. If you did not know, and you must have seen on the screen, our volleyball team did it this year, and they are fantastic. They were welcomed to the White House by Vice President Kamala Harris. The men's and women's soccer team, who placed 5th nationally, also have done wonderful stuff. And those accolades go on and on and on as it relates to our athletes. Let me stop on a somber moment. I have 2 remaining acknowledgements. I remember Raul Castaneda, Executive Director of University Auxiliary Services. Where he led his team with kindness and care. His passing was sudden and tragic. He will be missed. And I remember Nina Ernst Luz, graduate of the first nursing class of Cal State LA, who with her husband David established endowed directorship in the School of Nursing for $1.3 million. She passed away last year after an amazing life. We must tell every story. We must cry, laugh, dance, learn, research, and toil together. Cal State LA is always giving its best, and we appreciate that. I say this knowing these examples that I've given today are only a few, and that you all are doing the good work. A more powerful story cannot be told of a university who really cares about is community. I say and close at this moment by asking you for some grace and some patience, some focus and some energy. Every once in a while this year, you may see me looking a little different because my 92-year-old mother has dementia. But what I would tell you about her, since I've told you about many people in my family, her commitment to being a third grade school teacher for 32 years is the foundation by which I do many things every day. She would call me back when they thought long distance was expensive, and she would talk for 2 minutes every day when I was an undergrad, every day, like clockwork. She wasn't gonna talk long, and she only had one message: go do the best you can, work hard, and remember, this education is your gift. Have a nice day, bye, babe. That's it. So as I see her struggle with this very devastating disease, I remember somebody said, I'm really worried about you. I said, you can worry, and you can even say a little prayer if you want to. But let me also say that this energy and those amazing faculty who told their stories and the impact of their parents and the countries that they've come from and what they've done to work and the students that they've changed, we are doing amazing work. I know no matter what happens this year, we are going to transform some lives. I know no matter what happens this year, that what you are doing is amazing. Continue, continue, continue. Be bold, don't get tired, and just keep on going. Have a wonderful academic year. And remember, we are LA.
Thank you for attending Cal State LA's 2024 University Convocation.